Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3. We are back from the brink and back in the saddle on Backlook Cinema, the podcast. I'm your host, Zo, that's Z-O or Z-O if you're outside of the U.S., talking about or taking a look back at the movies of yesteryear. This is bonus episode 20. Thank you for downloading and streaming. We really appreciate it. The reason we started this show was to strengthen the bond between my son Zach and me. We usually watch movies that I loved when I was growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But today, me and my son Zach went out and we saw a new movie that just came out, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Now about this movie, the daughters of the Greek titan Atlas, the goddesses Hespera, Calypso, and Anthea, came to Earth seeking who stole the powers of the gods. On their way to find that power, they tear the city of Philadelphia asunder. Their quest leads them to Billy Batson and his adopted family. Billy and his adopted brothers and sisters unite to prevent the goddesses from further death and destruction of their city using the power of Shazam. So this movie has a pretty healthy cast. There are a lot of co-stars, and I'm going to shout them all out. And here we go. Starring Zachary Levi as Shazam, Asher Angel as Billy Batson, Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddie Freeman, Rachel Zegler as Anthea, Adam Brody as Superhero Freddie, Ross Butler as Superhero Eugene, DJ Controlla as Superhero Pedro, Grace Caroline Curry as Mary Broomfield and Superhero Mary, Megan Good as Superhero Darla, Lucy Liu as Calypso, Jaimin Hansu as the Wizard Shazam, Helen Mirren as Hespera, Faith Herman as Darla Dudley, Ian Chen as Eugene Choi, Joman Armand as Pedro Pena, Martin Milans as Rosa Vasquez, and Cooper Andrews as Victor Vasquez. This movie was directed by David S. Sandberg. He also directed the original Shazam, Lights Out, and Annabelle Creation. Written by Henry Gayden and Chris Morgan, based on the superhero formerly known as Captain Marvel and also known as Shazam or The Captain, created by Bill Parker and C.C. Beck. Music by Christoph Beck, and he also composed all the music for the Ant-Man movies. So, here are my spoiler-free impressions. It's hard to say exactly how I feel about this movie. I liked it overall. It was pretty decently written. It had great character moments. It combined some great humor, jokes, and gags, along with some really touchy, heartfelt moments. It had one of the funniest and touching moments I've seen in a long time. Something about rainbows. And I thought how the story was spread throughout the various characters was very well done. This movie's had a lot of characters to keep track of, but you never feel lost or forget who's who, but you might not necessarily be able to keep track of all of their names. While the action was good for the most part, it got a little tiresome at times. There weren't any moments where the movie was slow, but there were times that I could feel the 2 hours and 15-minute runtime. And we stayed for the whole time because there was a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene. They're both good, and I'd recommend staying for both of them. So should you see it? My impressions are that this was a really good movie, even though I thought it was a little long. If you liked the first Shazam or any of the Spider-Man films, then there's a better than even odds that you'll like this one, as it maintains some of those warm and fuzzy vibes that makes going to the movies special. Although, if you wanted to wait for it to come on video, I wouldn't blame you. I'm not going to hold you on that. It's not so special that you have to rush out to the theater to see it. You could definitely wait to see it on video or streaming or however you see it after it goes through the movies. Anyway, caution if you have kids. While this movie is very kid friendly, there's no blood or gore or anything like that, but there's a lot of violence, death, and destruction. So those are my thoughts. Those are my impressions of Shazam, Fury of the Gods. And that's all I got. Thanks for listening to this extraordinarily short bonus episode. And I'll see you, or you'll hear from me on another bonus episode or on the next regular episode. Be safe. Share a movie with your family. Hug your loved ones. And if you're going to be anything, be outstanding.